Hi boys and girls, this is Mrs. Twisdale. I'm recording this video at 1 o'clock in the morning. I have a sleeping baby next to me. Hopefully she stays asleep. And my dear husband is right next to me helping me get these videos done. So, oops, sorry, there's a hair on the iPad. Alright, so welcome to Chapter 12. In Chapter 12 we're going to be learning about using data and measuring different sets of data. It's actually a really interesting chapter. I think you guys will enjoy it. But first of all, we're going to talk about recognizing statistical questions. And our objective today is I can recognize statistical questions. So, let's go ahead. I want you to find a page in your notebook. This is going to take you some time, but this will be something you can refer back to so we don't have to take as many notes on definitions during the chapter. So write down these definitions in the beginning of chapter 12 in your notebook. Use just a blank page, but don't lose it because it is something you're going to go back to. Okay? So we're going to learn about data. Now this word can be said data or data. Sometimes I say it either way. Okay? It is information collected about people or things. So if we find out what is the eye color of all the students in our class, that's data. If we find out how old are the people in Mrs. Price's class, that's data. It's information that we collect about people or things. Okay? You're going to learn what a dot plot is, a frequency table, a histogram. These are all different ways to display data. You're going to learn the mean, measure of center, the median, the mode, the outliers, the relative frequency table, and today we're going to be talking about statistical questions. Okay? A statistical question is a question that asks about a set of data that can vary. Now, vary is that word meaning to change. Okay? So pause your video now, record these definitions, and most of them are pretty short, but if you need to shorten them, you can, okay? But I do want you to pause the video and take the time to do that for me. Okay, so talking about data again, if you are measuring the height of your classmates, you are collecting data. Okay? A set of data is information collected about people or things. And when we call it a set, it's usually because there's more than one piece of data. If you're looking at classmates' height, the height of your classmates, then you're going to have more than just 5 foot 2 inches. You'll have maybe someone's 5 foot 2 inches, maybe someone's 4 foot 11 inches, and you'll have a whole set of them. Now, in order for us to get our data, we have to ask a question. If there is a question that asks about a set of data, it is called a statistical question. Oftentimes, you think of questions on a survey. These are usually statistical questions, okay? For example, what are the heights of my classmates on July 1st? This is a statistical question, okay? Because it asks you, let me write that, statistical question. It asks you a question, and the answers might vary, meaning they might change. It's not a yes or a no question. It's not a one-size-fits-all question. Or it's asking you for the greatest or least value in the data set. An example of a question that's not a statistical question would be, what is Johnny's height on July 1st? You know, Johnny only has one height. It cannot change. It cannot vary. Another example of a statistical question, this would be a yes example, is if we said, what is the height of the tallest person? Okay. Sorry, I'm writing a little sloppy. What is the height of the tallest person on July 1st? Now, maybe Johnny is the tallest person, but we don't know that. We want to know the height of the tallest, or we could have said the shortest person, because that's showing the greatest or the least value in the data set. Alright, so to an example here. Which of the following is a statistical question? So I'm giving you 2 questions. Okay? And one of them is a statistical question, one of them is not. And we have to decide why. So the first question is, how much does the penguin named Pip weigh this morning? So there's a penguin, his name is Pip. We're asking, how much does he weigh this morning? The other question is, How much does a penguin named Pip weigh each morning on 30 different days? So, the answer to this question, we don't know, but we want to know which of the following is a statistical question. And it is number 2. The reason that number 2 is a statistical question is because the answers can vary. They can change. The answers can change. Number 1, this first question, it only had one answer. And that is not a statistical question. Okay? The reason that this one is because those answers can vary. They can change. There could be multiple answers throughout those 30 days. And that would be a set of data. Let me show. Actually, sorry, this is a try it one. Which of the following is a statistical question? The first one is, what was the low temperature in Chicago each day in March? The second question, what was the low temperature in Chicago on March 7th? I want you to think about your answer now and decide which one do you think is statistical? Number 1 or number 2? Oh, you can hear little Felicity making sounds over there. She's trying to sleep. I'm talking. Okay. The correct answer is that our statistical question is number 1. What was the low temperature in Chicago each day in March? The reason why this is a statistical question is because the answers can vary. Could have been 30 degrees, it could have been 10 degrees, it could have been 25. We would have a whole bunch of numbers. The answers can and they will vary. But this one over here, you just have one answer and it cannot change. And so it is not a statistical question. And it can't, sorry, I'm really tired today, change. So not a statistical question. All right. You'll also see examples like this. It's going to ask you to write your own statistical question that you could ask in this situation. So here's the situation. There's a doctor recording the birth weight of 48 babies. So if you wanted to write a statistical question, what could it be? Okay, so I could write a question about this. Now I don't want to say, what is the birth weight of the first baby? That's not a statistical question. That answer can't change. But I could say, let's see, let me get out my typing thing here. I could say, what is the the weight of the heaviest baby? That would be just fine. Now there's a couple of different ones I could do. I could do, what is the weight of the lightest baby? These are statistical questions because yes, there's only one answer, but it's asking us the greatest or the least value. So this could be an example of a statistical question you could ask. There's other statistical questions. This is just one example. Now it's your turn to try it. Write a statistical question you could ask in this situation. A student recorded the number of pets in the household of 56th graders. 56th graders, that's a tongue twister. What could your statistical question be? Pause, write down the situation, and then write down your statistical question. And then I'll give you an example of one that I thought of, but if you're not sure if yours is correct, make sure you ask the teacher there if it is, okay? All right, now the example that I thought of is I would ask, what is the greatest number of pets in one household? So this again is a statistical question because it's asking that greatest or least value. Another question we could ask is, what is the least number of pets in one household? Or you could ask, well, I can't think of any others right now because I'm too tired, but if you have one that you wanted to check, make sure you ask a teacher to check it for you if it is statistical. Okay, now this is the whole video. I thought this lesson was pretty quick. What I would recommend you do is work on your reteach page, your share and show for this lesson, maybe even the enrich page, take a look at that, and then do your homework. And if you finish all of that before your time is up, go on to the next video, because the next video is, it has an activity that you might want to get started on today to give yourself a little boost for the rest of the week. Okay? I hope you have a great day of learning, and I look forward to talking to you later.